Well, Earth Day is right around the corner, and it's more important than ever to show our wonderful world a little TLC.
Yeah, and just in time, Grammy-nominated musician and humanitarian Julian Lennon is out with a new children's book, Love the Earth, and we love that he is here with us now. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So nice to have you here.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So this is the third in a trilogy.
Yeah.
The first two are Heal the Earth and Touch the Earth.
That's correct, yeah.
And it's about celebrating nature, giving back. There's some social justice element in there. So what inspired you to write this for kids?
Well, I think, you know, I just remembered when I was growing up the connection you had, the bond you had with your mother and your grandmother. And I thought it was such a good point at which you could educate children without shoving the idea of, you know, education down their throats.
Right, they don't know they're getting it, really.
And so teaching them a little bit about the environment and humanitarian issues, I thought was a good way to move forward on a project like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're a musician, and a lot of folks would...
Apparently.
Yeah, you are.
That's what they say.
A lot of people will read these words, and they feel like song lyrics to some people.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Well, I think if you can rhyme something a little bit from time to time, it's easier to remember. It sticks in your head a little more.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are poems at the back of each book. So, you know, at some point I may get around to putting a bit of music.
I was going to say, it just seems like a natural progression.
For a bit of a sing-along at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, in the
book signings at schools, and kids can sing along with the lyrics.
Indeed.
But the illustrations are so beautiful too. We were talking about it before the segment started, and I feel like it could be like another natural progression would be an animated series or an animated film or something.
Yeah. No, we took Bart Davis, the co-writer, and I spent a lot of time finding the right person for the job, Smiliana, and she's, you know, there were lots of drawings sent in and illustrations. Hers just stood out to me. They told the story in the right way, and they just looked very beautiful. And so the idea, yes, is to take this on to the next level and make it an animated series and move forward in the same way that the book does.
Yeah.
Books do, in that, you know, again, we're teaching kids about the future and what world they're going to grow up in, and if we can, you know, if they learn about what we can do to change things for the betterment of all, then I think that can only be a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, folks can come out and meet you because you have some book signings coming up, and you're a busy guy. And these books are aimed at kids 3 to 6. Why is that the perfect age for you to target for this?
Well, I just think that's a good learning age. I think that there's a certain awareness that you're beginning to have at that age about, you know, you're discovering the world around you and being much more conscious.
They start soaking things in at that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that felt like a good age, especially for the kind of sentiment and storylines and the approach that Bart and I wanted to achieve.
And still innocent enough to be open to receiving.
Well,
yes.
No, that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
and also a reminder for the parents too.
Yeah, no, it's true. But you also do some great work with your White Feather Foundation across the world. Yeah, so there's a special story with this White Feather. Can you tell us?
I'll try and keep it short and sweet. I was on tour in Australia 20 plus years ago, and I was approached by an indigenous tribe called the Mirning people, the Mirning tribe, and they approached me with a white feather, large white feather, and said, you know, can you help us? You have a voice. And so I learnt about their history and what had happened to them, as with many other indigenous tribes around the world. And so I said, well, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to step up to the plate, and spent 10 years making a documentary about them called Whale Dreamers. And I thought, if this is going to be successful and make any money, I want it to go back to the tribe so that it can keep their culture alive. The only way to do that at that time was to put it through a foundation. And just the backstory to that is that Dad once said to me that if anything ever happened to him, that to let me know that he's okay, or that we'd all be okay, would be in the form of a white feather.
And do you see a lot of white feathers?
So I do see a lot of white feathers. But that one, you know, that one in particular, when you're approached like that, I mean, it's undeniable, it's unmistakable in my mind. So that's where it all started. And
keep up the good work. And you can pick up a copy of Love the Earth everywhere on Monday, which is Earth Day. So Julian, thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure.
And thank you for your work. That's
Thank you very much.